We'll be counting down the top 10 best celebrity clapbacks of all time, but before we do, make sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to catch all of our videos. We got some bonus content coming up at the end of this one, so stick around. But for now, let's get right into it with number 10. Starting our list off, Dwight Howard. The first overall pick in the 2004 NBA draft is a Hall of Famer, no doubt. He's been an NBA All-Star 8 times, led the league in rebounds 5 times, led the league in blocks twice, but unfortunately, as of the time of this recording, he still hasn't won a championship ring. In his rookie year with the Magic, he came close, but ultimately lost to the Lakers in 5 games. Twitter user Brittany Snow decided to remind Howard by replying to one of his tweets that he doesn't have a championship ring. Howard's original tweet was in response to someone else. His advice was to let it go, no need to dwell on the past. Snow then quoted Howard's tweet and said, "You ain't never getting a ring." Dwight, the savage Howard, replied, "With that face, I don't think you getting one either." Oh man, now going after someone's physical appearance isn't right, but neither is chirping a sports player for not winning the one thing they literally play for. Besides, Howard's playing on the Lakers roster now with AD and LeBron, so I'm sure he'll get that ring. At number 9, Chrissy Teigen. Now Chrissy is known for being very vocal, especially on social media. So when Twitter user Topher Kraus tweeted at her that she peaked, Chrissy didn't hold back. It's unclear what it was Chrissy originally tweeted out, in which Kraus replied, "And that's probably the best thing that'll ever happen to you. Congrats on peaking." But Chrissy really showed him. She tweeted back, "I have a best-selling book, great boobs, a family I love, am literally eating pasta on a lake in Italy, and I married rich." I mean, well, she's kinda got a point. Seems like this girl's got it all figured out if you ask me. Moving on to number 8, Finn Wolfhard. The kid from Stranger Things found success in the film and TV industry, which led to him landing other roles, such as a part in the film It. Probably one of the biggest movies at the time, it generated a lot of buzz. So it's no surprise that celebrities or famous people went to go see it, to be in the loop of what's good. One of those people included James Charles, who tweeted out, "Okay, 5 minutes in and it is already awful. Stay tuned for updates." Now why James would tweet that out is beyond me, but I guess he was just trying to be relevant. Finn quoted his tweet and replied with the best possible response, "Why are you on your phone in the movie theater? Rule 1. I mean, regardless if you like the film or not, Finn's kinda got a point there, so maybe you just take this L. Bye, sister. Number 7, James Blunt. Now James is known for his hit song You're Beautiful, among other songs, which I won't lie, I don't know, but that's irrelevant. Now Blunt has got to be the best celebrity on social media. I wish I could do a top 10 James Blunt tweets list, he's that good. So he's on this list twice, and it's worth it, trust me guys. Here goes. Twitter user Lauren tweeted out, "Why does James Blunt sing like his willy is being stood on?" James replied, "Damn thing's always getting caught under my feet." This man literally took someone trying to insult his looks and twisted it to make it a compliment, proving how well endowed he is. James is simply a god among men. Moving on to number 6, Cher. Do you believe in Cher being a savage? Well, you better. After tweeting out, "Those who can must take a dreamer into their home and protect them. Ready to do this, and others in my business will do the same. Sanctuary." A woman named Brenda replied, "Sure you will, Cher. I'll believe it when I see it." Cher's response was, "Then keep your eyes open." Imagine that. You wake up, you brush your teeth, make a coffee, normal day. You call out Cher on her bullshit, only for her to turn around and call you a bitch. Makes for one hell of a story if you ask me. Moving into the number 5 spot, Justin Bieber. After posting a photo of his wife, Hailey Baldwin, captured, "No makeup, like what?" clearly showing how in awe he is of his perfectly flawless wife, a user commented, "You don't need to do this. If you really love each other, just live and enjoy it without trying to presume to appear or force someone else to see that you're in love." Now, I don't feel this person's intentions were to necessarily upset Biebs, but isn't the point of social media to show your perspective of life, or at least what you want people to see? Biebs replied, "Honoring your wife publicly is actually such an amazing, respectful thing to do. It's not only reassuring to her, it's also a way of giving people something to look forward to. I'm not forcing it down anyone's throat. You follow me. Should I not make songs about loving my wife or being in love? Or is that shoving down my love for her down your throat too? This is my life. Unfollow me if you don't like what I post." I mean, he said it best. Besides, I don't think Biebs would care if he lost a follower. But the way he worded it, it's like shoving my love for her down your throat, or whatever he says about shoving, he's like, "Is that me singing a song, shoving her love down your throat too?" And I'm like, that wasn't proper English, but okay. At number 4, William Shatner. So with this whole okay boomer thing going around, it seems like everyone just wants to jump on the bandwagon. Don't get me wrong, it could be used as a good insult. That'll sting a boomer if you really pull it off correctly. But calling someone who isn't a boomer, it's just not going to have the same effect. It'd be like telling a hockey player he can't shoot a 3-pointer on the basketball court. It's not his thing, so why would he care? So when William Shatner got into a bit of a Twitter argument with a user named Billy, well, they thought they'd get the upper hand on Captain Kirk. Turns out for them, Shatner was born in 1931. which means he's definitely not a boomer. If anything, saying he was born 15 years later than he actually was would be a compliment. Which is why he replied to Billy's tweet with, "Sweetheart, that's a compliment for me," followed by a kissing emoji. At number 3 we have Tom from MySpace. Not only was he everyone's first friend, but the man is also ruthless if you try to add him. After tweeting out, "People keep asking so I'll say it. Fear over Instagram's terms change is ridiculous. Get real folks." A man named Polo Tapia decided to respond with, "Says the guy that was not able to keep a social network alive." Oh burn, you got Tom. Or so we thought. Tom responded, "Says the guy who sold MySpace in 2005 for $580 million while you slave away hoping for a half day off." Alright, I guess Tom wins that one. Number 2, James Blunt again. I put this one at number 2 instead of the one about his willy because this one just says so much in so few words. Twitter user Het Jones decided they'd start their day by tweeting out, "James Blunt just has an annoying face and a highly irritating voice." James quoted that tweet and hit back with a simple, "and no mortgage." I mean, say what you want about him, his face, his voice, made him enough to buy a house and pay off his debts, so that's a win if you ask me. And in at number 1, Drake. Now maybe I'm biased because I'm from Toronto and I'm a Drake fan, but the way in which he articulated this insult hurt my soul to read. After posting a photo of him topless by the beach, another rapper, Carnage, commented, "You got fake ab surgery in Colombia, you ain't fooling anybody." Drake's response to his comment, "Is this cause you are angry about the one thing that happened with that one person the other day that you thought was your wifey?" It hurt my heart to read that. This man is the king of petty and I love it. He could have simply said, "Is this about the girl that I slept with?" But instead he said, "Is this about that one thing that happened the other day with that one person?" Like, just so many jabs, man.
Any particular workout?
Are you trying to lose weight?
Well,
like, what's the deal, man? You look great.
No.
No, seriously. We have to talk about this. What do you want? Are you trying to fit into a cat suit?
Being a woman ain't easy sometimes, let me tell you, but it's even worse when you have to deal with sexist comments that make you eye roll so hard they end up in the back of your head. And some of your favorite celebrities have unfortunately been put in uncomfortable situations where they were clearly treated differently because they were women. But some of these women showed they had enough and clapped back beautifully. And that's what I'm going to be listing in today's video, where I'm going to be filling you in on the top 10 times celebrities clap back at sexist comments. In at number 10, Rihanna. Rihanna truly cannot do wrong with her consistently breaking boundaries with practically everything that she does, from her breaking records with her music to her inclusive and diverse cosmetic company and lingerie brand. And we can also call her an icon for how she's handled sexist comments in the past too. One time when she was on a red carpet, an MTV News reporter asked her about her dating life, before asking about anything relevant to the night or speaking of her accomplishments. And this sexist question, basically insinuating that a woman needs to be dating to be interesting or accomplished, was challenged when Rihanna responded, quote, "I'm not looking for a man, let's start there." And that is why my single ass really could not love her more. In at number 9, Anne Hathaway. So as we all know, Anne Hathaway looked drop dead gorgeous when she played Catwoman in the Dark Knight Rises film. But if it's the only thing an interviewer wants to talk about, that can be incredibly blood boiling. And after the host asked Anne multiple questions about her costume and the diet needed to fit into the costume, and she danced around the answer because she obviously didn't want to answer that question, she had to put her anger into language that I guess she thought he would understand. And she ended up savagely asking him a line of questions on if he's looking to lose weight or if he needs to fit into a cat costume soon and needs some pointers. Saying, quote, "Are you trying to lose weight, man? You look great," among others. And thankfully after all that, the line of questioning was changed to something else. In at number 8, Cate Blanchett. Cate has been pointing out the subtle sexism in Hollywood for many years, and it doesn't look like she's gonna be stopping anytime soon. One of her most vocal moments was at a red carpet, where it's customary for videographers to pan up and down women's bodies on the red carpet so everyone can see every inch of their bodies, I guess. And after noticing that this never really happens to the men, in the middle of an interview at the 2017 SAG Awards, she crouched down to call out one of the videographers that was scanning her body, bluntly asking the cameraman, quote, "Do you do that to the guys?" He responded with a yes, but it didn't really look like she was buying it. In at number 7, Emma Watson. Emma is another woman that uses her platform in any way possible to push for equality for women around the world. Among her many accomplishments, she has her intersectional feminist book club, as well as speaking at the UN in 2015 on gender equality. But because she's made herself publicly known as an outspoken feminist, this has also made a target on her back. Back in 2017 in a Vanity Fair photo shoot, she was shamed for showing underboob in the photo and called a hypocrite. And to clap back at all the sexist comments she received, she responded, quote, "Feminism is about giving women choice. Feminism is not a stick with which to beat other women with. It's about freedom, about liberation and equality. I really don't know what my tits have anything to do with it. It's very confusing." And I just really couldn't agree more. Feminism is about choice, so it's her choice to wear whatever the F she wants, period. And at number 6, Priyanka Chopra. Priyanka is known for breaking down stereotypes of women and her culture, and takes any opportunity she can to stop sexist comments in their path. And that's exactly what she did during one interview with Wendy Williams, where Wendy asked her a few questions she didn't like. Starting with Wendy asking where Priyanka's date was at the Met Gala, with Priyanka responding, quote, "I mean, why do you always need a date? It's overrated. My moment, my outfit." And again, I just seriously could not agree more. Then Wendy made a comment if Priyanka was feeling pressured to be married because of her culture, with Priyanka once again responding beautifully, saying, quote, "I think it's a global pressure that women get. I don't think it's India at all." And the last thing came when Wendy was asking about Meghan Markle, and she made a point of referring to her as Prince Harry's girlfriend, to which Priyanka replied, quote, "Also, Meghan Markle actress, suits her achievements, just saying." And this whole interview was basically breaking down sexist stereotypes 101, and we love to see it. Halfway through at number 5, Serena Williams. Since Serena is one of the most accomplished athletes in the world, she gets a lot of negative attention being in the male-dominated space. One incident that went viral was when she ended up losing a match because an umpire was deducting points from her the whole match, even though the deductions she was receiving aren't really that common in the sport. After the umpire ended up taking points away from her, she called him a thief and urged him to reconsider. But he did not, and she ended up taking a huge loss and eventually losing the match. After the fact, she defended her actions, saying that this umpire has never taken points away from a man for something so small. But this is not her only time calling out sexism when it happens. She also famously hates being referred to as a female athlete and wants to just be referred to as an athlete like the men do. In at number 4, Simone Biles. Simone Biles, who is a 4-time Olympic gold medalist, appeared on Dancing with the Stars in 2017. And even though she did a fantastic job dancing in the competition, that wasn't enough, as the host of the show called her out after getting feedback from the judges, with him saying, quote, "I was waiting for you to smile at some of the compliments, but you didn't." And then her savagely responding what we were all thinking, saying, quote, "Smiling doesn't win you gold medals." And I just love her attitude so much. She's the greatest. Up at number 3, Lizzo. Lizzo, who is an incredibly accomplished singer and rapper, shot to fame for her songs and body positivity. And Lizzo never fails to take advantage of an opportunity to call out any unfairness when she sees it. And even though we're all obsessed with her confidence and love that she empowers us to be more confident, she can sometimes feel singled out for her body positivity, saying in an interview to The Cut, quote, "I say I love myself and they're like, oh my gosh, she's so brave, she's so political." For what? That's just hopping on a trend and expecting people to blindly love themselves. That's fake love. I'm trying to figure out how to actually live it. And I personally just love her even more because she's so real, and I know everything she does is coming from a super genuine place. In at number 2, Ariana Grande. Ariana is another celebrity that does the most to ensure she's always defending her values for equality for all, whether it be women or the LGBT community. And my favorite moment of hers where she showed this is not all just talk was when she was in an interview with Power 106. And the questions were definitely not the types of questions that a man would be getting, let's just say that. One of the worst questions was when the host asked her if she would rather use her phone or makeup if she had to choose one thing to get rid of forever. Then she savagely responded, quote, "Is this what you think girls have trouble choosing between?" But even though she was visibly annoyed by that sexist question, it wasn't the last, with the next topic of conversation being about emojis, and the host then saying that the unicorn emoji is only used by girls. Grande then clapped back once again, saying, quote, "You all need a little brushing up on equality over there then," adding, quote, "I've changed my mind. I don't want to hang out with Power 106 anymore." And I really hope they learn their lesson here, because watching this interview was honestly infuriating. And at number 1, Lady Gaga. And lastly, we have the queen of everything, Lady Gaga. And Gaga has always been about defying norms and giving people the freedom to do whatever they want, regardless of their gender identity. And she summed up all her beliefs pretty darn well in an interview she did back in 2009, before she was a huge star. And in the interview, the host asked multiple times about if she feels her sexual lyrics will hurt her career, and if she's scared she's gonna be put in a box because how open she is in her music. And after being totally fed up with this line of questioning, Gaga clapped back, saying in summary that if she was a man who made music about fast cars and sleeping with women, no one would bat an eye and he would have labeled her a rock star. But because she's a woman, she's judged and told it's distracting. Closing off the interview saying, quote, "I am a rock star." And it's so sad she had to clarify that, because anyone that's been watching already knows what's up, and of course she's a rock star.
Ellen has to be one of the most beloved hosts on television. With her dancing ways, heartwarming smile, and occasional joke usually at the expense of her guest, Ellen has created a brand like no other. However, sometimes when Ellen makes her guests the punchline, they decide to give it right back to her. And for the most part, it's fun and lighthearted. Nothing is meant by it. But still, it's funny to see some of Hollywood's biggest names clapping back at Ellen the way they do. Or I guess the way they have. And that's why we'll be counting down the top 10 celebrities that clap back at Ellen DeGeneres. Starting our list off at number 10, we got Cher. Now Cher has been known for being straight up and speaking her mind. It was evident on our list of best celebrity clapbacks of all time when Cher tweeted at a fan who was calling her out. And apparently Cher treats everyone equally. As part of the episode where Ellen has Cher on as a guest, the two stars surprised two women at a hair salon, giving them fresh hairstyles. While they were mid-makeover, the women all started chatting, which eventually led to one of the women agreeing with Ellen. Cher calls out the woman in Ellen's chair saying, "What do you mean yes? You don't know her?" To which the woman replies, "Well, from what I see on TV." Ellen then jumps in and says, "Yes, she knows me. They know me better than they know you." In response, Cher just stands there, smiling at Ellen and laughing while saying, "Ugh, you're such a bitch." It's clear these two must have a love-hate relationship. Moving on to number 9, Wanda Sykes. The comedian was sitting in one of Ellen's famous chairs directly across from the host. When Sykes mentioned that Ellen recently went on tour, Ellen denied that, saying she wouldn't call it a tour. Sykes proved her wrong, reminded Ellen that she actually gave her a sweater that reads Ellen DeGeneres Relatable Tour. Sykes then goes off on Ellen, referring to her 4 tour dates, claiming that'd be considered a regular weekend for Wanda. After the audience laughter simmered down, Sykes even pointed out that 3 of the 4 cities Ellen toured in were all in California, which even further proves that Ellen in fact did not tour anywhere. And at number 8, Katy Perry. Now some backstory here real quick for those of you who don't know. Katy Perry was once married to Russell Brand. The two had a very messy and public breakup, with accusations of Brand cheating and being a sex addict, among other things, making headlines. So when Perry was on Ellen's show and the host told Perry she'd be playing a game called Will You Perry Me, which was a spin on Would You Rather, Perry jokingly asked, "Do I have to get married again?" To which Ellen replied, "You were not married." Perry then reminds Ellen when she was 25 she was in fact married, and Ellen, genuinely forgetting about her past relationship, asked Perry, "To who?" Katy then reminds Ellen she was married to Russell Brand for a while and jokingly starts to make scissor gestures with her hands, implying Ellen should cut that segment out of her show when it airs. The clapback came when Perry finishes the conversation with, "Remember you gave me some wedding gifts on the show?" Moving on to number 7, we got Justin Bieber. Now Biebs seems to appear on Ellen whenever he's making headlines for all the right and wrong reasons. This time around, Biebs was photographed in Bora Bora while vacationing with on-again off-again girlfriend at the time, Jade Pierce. The photo in question was actually the one showing off all of Biebs, if you get what I'm saying. The guy was naked. We're talking like full frontal and everything. So when Ellen and Bieber were discussing the photo, Ellen mentions Jade, referring to her as the girl in the background. Ellen then asks if that's just his girlfriend, to which she replies, "No, she's just a friend." Ellen then asks, "You're just naked with your friend?" To which Bieber, clearly embarrassed and now covering his face, calls out Ellen saying, "Why are you putting me on the spot like this?" Not so much an insult, but still, considering how he fully called her out for calling him out, it's good enough to be on this list. In at number 6, we got Blake Shelton. Shelton appeared on Ellen's show in May of 2019 before appearing again in December of the same year. The last time Shelton was on Ellen's show, the host gave the country singer a countdown clock, which jokingly put pressure on Shelton to pop the question to Gwen Stefani, his girlfriend of 4 years. When Shelton appeared on the show again, Ellen reminded him of the clock, but Shelton was quick to call her out. I quote him saying, "But you didn't give it to me. I walked backstage and someone back there was like, 'Hey, thanks for being on the show. Can I have that?' And they took it. So I haven't seen it. Time didn't really start ticking at that moment. Whoever your next guest was, you replaced the picture and did the same crap to them and embarrassed them." End quote. And he's not wrong. JLo was the next to receive the clock, but she got engaged, so maybe Blake not taking the clock was a blessing in disguise. Depending who you ask, I guess. Moving on to number 5, Hasan Minhaj. Now this one isn't so much a clapback as it is just a total shutdown, which in a sense is a clapback of sorts, at least in my books. So to start off the interview, Ellen addresses Minhaj and says, "It's so nice to meet you, I'm a huge fan." She then asks how to correctly say his name, first pronouncing it Hasan Minhaj, to which he just says nah. Ellen then says yes, looking visibly confused, to which he once again, getting slightly annoyed, says no. Minhaj then goes on to explain to Ellen how to properly pronounce his name, and then tells her he'd like to address it on national TV, laughing about how everyone has a hard time saying his name, but no one thinks twice about the actor Elgort Ansel. And I probably said that wrong, so I don't blame him. Elgort Ansel? Elgort? I don't know. It's a weird name. Up next at number 4, we got Justin Timberlake. Now every time these two get together, it looks like they're genuinely best friends. Which is why when JT called out Ellen for not knowing the lyrics to his hit song Can't Stop the Feeling, hilarity ensued. Ellen tells the audience that when the song first came out, she sent a clip of herself singing it to her pal JT. Timberlake then chimes in, reminding Ellen, my favorite part was when you were like, it's just electric, just electric, just electric. And I was like, that's not the words. This is in reference to the part of the song that comes right before the chorus when JT sings, just imagine, 3 times. Now at number 3, Michelle Obama. In 2016, as Obama was winding down her last few weeks as First Lady of the United States, Ellen decided to do a segment showing the two of them shopping at a CVS. Throughout the segment, Ellen was making jokes to Obama, telling her she needs to push her own cart because no one will do it on her behalf. As the two women were checking out, Ellen asked Michelle, can you get my face on money? To which Michelle responded, no, I can't. Ellen then asks, why not? Michelle explains she would need to do something extraordinary, like Harriet Tubman. Ellen explains how she does something grand by making the world happy on a daily basis. Michelle responds, you should have freed some slaves, before telling Ellen she's really annoying, comparing going shopping with her to that of a 3-year-old. Moving on to number 2, Sean Hayes. In what's been dubbed Battle of the Gays, Hayes and Ellen actually go back and forth, jokingly insulting each other, and really just having a grand old time. The two of them laughing and joking around look like two high school friends reunited for the first time in years. Between the backhanded compliments and laughs, Hayes really got Ellen good. When Ellen asked Hayes how long he's been on the show Will and Grace, in which he stars as one of the show's characters, Jack McFarland, Hayes jokingly said longer than 15 years. This was a dig at Ellen's time on air, who had been celebrating 15 years when this interview was conducted. Ellen throws a bar back asking, how long was it the first time around before y'all got cancelled? After containing his laughter, Hayes turns to Ellen and says, I think it was on longer than your sitcom was, before taking a sip from his mug. This was referring to the show Ellen, which ran for 4 years before being cancelled. And now in at the number 1 spot, Dakota Johnson. Ellen starts the interview off by wishing Johnson a happy 30th birthday, and then asks how the party was, reminding her that she wasn't invited. Johnson quickly jumps in saying, actually no, that's not the truth, Ellen, you were invited, before explaining to Ellen what had actually happened. Johnson explains the last time she was on Ellen's show, the host gave her a bunch of crap for not inviting her to a party. Johnson goes on to explain to Ellen that she didn't know she'd even want to come because she was under the impression Ellen didn't even like her. Johnson then clarifies that she did invite Ellen, saying, but I did invite you and you didn't come. Ellen, visibly confused, questions Johnson, asking, this time you invited me? Are you sure? I don't think so. To which Johnson says, ask everybody. Ask Jonathan, your producer. After Ellen gets exposed for actually not showing up to the party, she asks her team why she didn't go, to which someone off screen says, you were out of town. Ellen jokingly responds, oh yeah, I had that thing. Which obviously, you know, hey, I can't make it, I got that thing. She obviously didn't know what she had, but she just didn't look like an idiot. And Dakota Johnson just called her out. You big old idiot.